Hey everybody, if you like this content, please feel free to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. That way everybody else can see. Thanks, let's get to the content. Good morning YouTube. We are up early this Saturday morning to recap a stock that we looked at last weekend before football kicks off. So let's go ahead and get the work done and get all this information processed, and then we can go have some fun. First off, I want to have a look at LI. They are in the Chinese EV sector. We're going to see what happened to them after they had their delivery numbers announced this week. And also we want to compare them and see what happened to NIO, who is also in the same sector as them, who I also like to day trade quite often. And we want to see how we may be able to look into the future and know when some better entries are. So as we discussed last weekend, Lee did have good delivery numbers. As you can see here, they had a delivery rise of 10%, and 9,500 units is a good number compared to some others. I know XPEV under-delivered and their stock kind of sank down this week. One of the big things that's going on right now, and if you do know anything about the EV sector and anything electronics related, obviously, is the chip shortage and the all-around shortage that's happening around the globe. Right now, it is hard to get a hold of the chips that are making these machines, cars, computers, monitors, anything function properly and even be able to be sold to the consumer. So right now, even though deliveries are going up with some of these manufacturers, there was news this week that Tesla was having some delays with their Cybertruck until 2022. So we may look at them this week to see if that news affects them at all. They have been on an upswing for the past few days, so we'll look into the short side and look at some levels there as well. Here we want to look at a few more notes from the news, and then we'll jump over to the chart. One of the big reasons that I wanted to keep these guys on the lookout, as you can see, they gave back a few of their profits from the push-up that happened from Monday. And we're going to have a look at the chart, and we can actually see exactly what happened and the profits that were there to be made and what happened on the news. We're going to be able to see that everybody's sold, and then it popped back up with the good news. So let's jump over there real quick. Okay, here's our 60-minute chart. We're going to take a look at what happened Monday, August the 30th, and where this stock closed yesterday. As you can tell, everybody wanted to sell the news. We did have a sell-off pre-bell, but then we had a huge candle that did down here, and we finally found the bottom, and this stock moved back up. One of the big things that I'm really noticing this week is the volume candles. A lot of volume happened right at the bell on this stock several days in a row. So it was definitely tradable. One of the big moves that I liked was this intraday. Where is it at here? This was Tuesday. So Tuesday was the big day for the bounce. And this we're going to see a little bit clearer when we get to the 1-minute chart. But as you can tell, there was some sell-off for the news which came out over the weekend, and then obviously people were confident enough in the stock to go ahead and push it on higher. This is where we were over the weekend, and as you can see, this was exactly where this stock closed yesterday. And look at how this level touched here, which was on Monday, almost to the penny. So this level here was extremely important all week long, even though it happened on a Monday morning before the bell. So let's jump over to the 1-minute chart. That way we can get a little clearer action and see exactly where our levels were and what we can expect for next week. So now we're going to jump over to the daily chart and see if we can get more of an expanded view of what to expect in the future with LI. Okay guys, here we go. This is the daily, and this is really what I wanted to focus on, because this is going to give us more of an overview of the levels we can expect this stock to go to if there is more confidence that comes in, and maybe where we want to look to maybe throw a short in there in case there is some movement towards the downside. I went ahead and drew a line which is ascending, and we started on August the 17th here, and this was the previous level that we have drawn. These two horizontal yellow lines were drawn when we reviewed this last weekend. These two horizontal yellow lines were drawn last weekend This one around $37, and then the one you see here, which is around $26.93. This middle yellow line here, which is around $31.22, I just drew before this video because this gives us kind of a value level where this stock looks like it has touched several times in the past. So I felt like that's kind of a ceiling that everybody was respecting. And as you can see here, once we start looking in the daily charts, it doesn't have to touch to the penny every day in order for it to be a respectable level. We're looking more around a 10 to 20 cent variable, especially depending on the price of the stock. So here we have what I would consider a ceiling, or something that may be a level that shorts are going to want to stop out if it rips through that level, especially the folks that are holding this for long term. This was our Monday, right at this level right here. And as you can see, what we discussed earlier, the news did sell off and we lost these levels. This is our 20 and this is our 9. Again, I don't use them or respect those too much on a daily because we're looking at a larger time frame. But you can see that the news did sell off, but then it came back. Now Tuesday was the big day that they kind of soaked in the news and they kind of like prepped for it. And even though, as you can see, straight down, the volume wasn't much more than Monday. It was considered a green volume candle. It was very, very similar to Monday's, but that volume was enough to push this almost to this level here. And then for the rest of the week, we did have continuous positive action. So I wanted to draw this level here to kind of get you into the mindset of what I'm thinking. I'm seeing an ascending triangle here. Again, when we first discussed this last weekend, I was looking for this to move lower before I would have entered. This entry on Monday would have probably been where I would have gotten in, right around this area. Again, we wouldn't have seen any of this from that candle over, obviously, so we wouldn't have known about this ascending. But you know, now I feel like it may be a little too extended to get in for a long-term hold. But the fact that it is continuing an upward trend, even though it is selling off, it is still continues to move higher on the large volume days, and then move down negative, very small amounts, and then have another large push. So really, right now, it did about what we expected as far as moving up with the news, giving some back, but it did not go lower than where it was, meaning it held on to some of that momentum. So we're going to go ahead and close out of LI. It looks like it would have been a good entry for about a $3 gain this week. Again, I don't know if I would have day traded it, but it was a good weekly swing. I hope you guys enjoyed this recap, and I hope you got some information from this and also from the previous video about this stock to kind of see what happened and some times where stocks don't actually respect their news and sometimes they do. I'm going to jump into Tesla and also NIO in another video, and we're going to have a weekly outlook on that. Thanks, you guys.